Not recording yet, so let me get that. Oh, there we go. Now we're recording our first ever Total Merchant Concepts Transformers team meeting on video. So it's exciting to have you all here. There's about 6 of us meeting together from, it sounds like in multiple places in the country right now, because we've got somebody in Nevada, right on. And what we're going to talk today is about taking shape for life. And yeah, woohoo, let's go. You know, a lot of people start a fitness program or an exercise or diet program with the goal of trying to solve a problem. And what we want to talk about is why you're really doing what you're doing. And when you get to the heart of that and you kind of get clear about what the purpose really is about the health that you want, then we can start talking about what strategies make the most sense to move you forward. And so a lot of you have been asking me questions about what it is that I use to help somebody get into a really solid state of fat burn. How is it that a person gets to that point where they can control their appetite and have good energy in the process? I've also talked to many of you who have some inflammatory issues where the body's swollen up. There's some achy, painful parts in the body. We're going to really talk about a strategy that works to move all of that forward. As you see on the screen, you see a little bit about my lifestyle. You know, I am a dad. I have 2 children, Brianna and Jackson. They're definitely like my little heart running outside of my body. I love playing with them and being very active. My wife is towing us on our wakeboard boat out in the lake. You know, there's a shot of us there. I'm a businessman. I'm a mentor and a speaker. Those are some of my health coaching team from around the country in a picture. I love getting out in the outside, the active outdoors. There's a picture of my wife and I, Jill, together. There's my son Jackson and I fishing. I love fishing. I'm an avid fisherman. I'd like to. I won't talk about my dreams of getting into hunting for those of you who are against it, but maybe Dean can school me there. I do live in Ridgefield now, so I've got to. So with that said, I want you to know that your life is encompassing so many areas of your life. And it's so important that you find out for you what your vision board is of what you want to create, because getting into a healthy weight is about being able to participate in the life that you believe in. And so let me just go ahead and change slides here just for a moment, just so you can kind of look at, it's not changing. So let me see if I can do that. Tell me when the slide changes.
It did.
All right, perfect. So this is my health coach, Craig Blanchett. I did a little bit strip of him. And it says, Craig pushes Alex to take it to the limit. And one of the things I will tell you is that you see me running in this picture. It really is, it's about me running for my life, about the things that I actually want. And my coach is egging me on to say, go for it, Alex. Now, he's not my fitness coach. He's my mindset coach. And that's what I really want to help you to understand is my role as your coach is to guide and support you to do what you want to do. The reason why I'm willing to do it is not because Craig is forcing me to, because he's actually talking a talk that resonates with me, and that's about what I want. So defining what you want for the rest of this conversation is going to be super important. If you're not focused on what it is that you want to create, all you're going to hear is some guy talking at you the whole time. I want you to think about when I say something, why would I want to do what he's talking about? Why is that relevant to me? So moving forward, I want to talk to you about a problem we have, and it's called the vicious diet cycle. And as you are looking at this screen, you're seeing that most people are motivated by they have a problem with their weight, something hurts, so they start dieting. They get to this famine response where they start losing the weight, but they're losing it from muscle and fat. That's a problem. Their metabolism is then being compromised. Then all of a sudden, that sets you up for increased fat storage. When you finally can't handle being on this diet anymore, your willpower muscles are very weak. They don't have very much endurance. All of a sudden, something there just says, trigger it. Oh, what the heck? And you eat that thing, and all of a sudden, it stores as fat. Why does it store as fat? It's because your metabolism has been compromised from the diet cycle that you were in. Those extra calories that you eat now get stored as fat. You start gaining the weight back. You're frustrated. What the heck? You give up. And then all of a sudden, the weight comes back. You get the motivation again. And all of a sudden, you go, I'm going to do it again. And that cycle eats people up. It's the majority of people that are in America. But what I want to talk about is how we end that. Here's a funny slide, and it shows 2 children looking down at a scale. And it says, don't step on it. It makes you cry. And where do kids learn those kind of thoughts about, hey, don't step on that scale, it makes you cry? Well, they learn it from their parents. They've seen their mom maybe stepping on that scale, very upset and frustrated. They've seen the adults, and we start getting the wrong idea of what this is about. So what I want to talk to you about is breaking that pattern, but understanding that we do have a problem, but I want you to break the diet pattern. 70% of the country right now is overweight. 35% of the country is obese. That's $147 billion a year annually in medical expenses spent on chasing our weight around through trying to get on diabetes meds, blood pressure meds, cholesterol meds, surgeries for open heart surgeries, all those things. And out of that, the current Center for Disease Control stat is that 80% of all those diseases were lifestyle related. And that means because of the choices that we're making, not being able to heal up here in our minds, we are reacting to disease. That's why we want to break this cycle. We're talking about a 5 to 12 year earlier death sentence that we could prevent on average in this country. So the average American is going to die 5 to 12 years earlier than they should because of choice-related factors in their life. That's why we are doing this transformation, is because we want to live at a higher level. We want to achieve more. We want a little more. The average American spends $16 per day on creating that problem of health in their life. That's how much is spent per day on average for consuming drink and food. So what I want to talk to you today about is a solution that can not only help you achieve your goals, but help you do it at less than what the average American spends on becoming overweight and obese. So that's kind of the point where you want to ask yourself a question: is that important to you, and is that relevant for you to want to learn about? So as we move forward, I want to talk about a comprehensive approach. And it's important for you to understand that this comprehensive approach is focused on two main things. If I say something in the next 10 minutes that challenges the way you think, that's good, because we all need to understand paradigm and working together to achieve more. But we have to also admit that our current way of believing and thinking has got us exactly where we're at now. So if you're at a place of frustration and you've oscillated back and forth in your weight or your blood pressure or your inflammatory responses, or in your motivation is there one day, it's down the next, I'm really high on life one day, and then after a week or two, I'm really down in the dumps. We have to look at that and say, maybe the way I think and believe and the way I've been practicing in my habits do need to be challenged. And if you're open-minded, and I've said this before in one of our team meetings, an open mind is like a parachute. The parachute only works if you open it up. And that then becomes our life-saving. So the comprehensive approach, it cannot be about a diet. It's got to be about what you want. But these are the three components that we've proven, not only in results, but we've proven through research that work to help a person create a long-term healthy life. So that's what I'm going to talk about now. The first thing is that we found through research that whole food diets have a very, very high failure rate. Extremely high. But whole food is so good for us. Absolutely. However, if you have a problem with food and you're going to try and use food as the thing that you have to be around all day, see, the problem with cooking whole food in modern day society for the majority of Americans is it takes time, it takes skill, it takes preparation, and if you're going to eat whole food organic, it costs $18 per day to do it properly to lose weight. All right, not everybody can stick with that long term. So as soon as they get to their healthy weight, they quit it and they go back to what they were doing. And that's why the whole food failure rate is 91%. So it has the highest failure rate, doing a whole food diet. Now, eating whole food has a very, very high success rate once you've actually got to your healthy weight and you've incorporated it as a lifestyle. So what does that mean, what I just said? Because that sounds conflicting. It means using whole food to lose the weight when you have addictions towards certain foods and behavior patterns is basically a problem, because you have to be around food all the time. You have to be cooking it, cutting it, prepping it, smelling it. You know what I mean? So many people that are trying to lose weight, you don't want to be around food all the time if you're in the weight loss phase. You want to be around food as little as possible. Because half the battle is being triggered to want to eat. Does that make sense what I'm saying? When we could basically not be hungry at all and all of a sudden walk past somebody who's eating something good, and all of a sudden what happens? All of a sudden I'm hungry. That's normal. That's a built-in natural response to who you are as a human being. You were designed to get hungry when there's food. As a matter of fact, you're designed to become ravenous when there's food so that you'll go hunt it, attack it, kill it, and get it. And you're designed to want to eat as much of it as you possibly can until it's all gone. So that mother telling you, eat all that food on your plate. There's hungry children in Africa. Have you ever heard like those sayings before? Right? You better eat all that. There's somebody starving. Well, unfortunately, we don't live in Africa, and we do have too much food around us. So if we eat everything that's around us, we're going to look like we ate everything that's around us, right? So it'd be different if we were starving children in Africa. We probably should eat everything that's sitting in front of us at that point in time. We live in America, though. In America, we have food factories right in our houses. And for those of you who are off mute, what do we call that food factory that sits in our house?
The kitchen?
The kitchen. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds pretty like, oh, well, everybody has a kitchen. No, in this world, not everybody has a kitchen. The majority of the world doesn't have a kitchen. Their food sits out in the garden, it sits out in the field, it sits out in the barn. And if you're going to go eat some of that, you better go get your axe. You better chop some wood. You better go down to the watering hole a quarter mile away. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that right there burns calories. To even eat food in most of the world, you had to go burn calories to eat it. Does that make sense? Yeah. But we live in a part of the world where you don't have to burn calories to eat food. As a matter of fact, I can go to the drive-through window, and within a matter of 5 minutes, I can have 1,200 calories sitting in my lap. And all it took me was to push a button on a window, to roll down my window on the car, yell a few words at a speaker, and 5 minutes later, somebody's handing me 1,200 calories of no nutrition, and I only burnt 12 calories to 1,200. That's a problem, right? And then if I get home and I get a little munchy, a little craving, I can go to my food factory and I can eat more food while I'm watching TV. You know what I mean? Because I'm so stressed out from my day of not doing any physical labor, because I'm having to think all day long, and that wears us out. You guys see what I mean? We have a problem. And if we lived on Little House on the Prairie, I would say eat as much as you can, but you don't live on Little House on the Prairie. You don't have to go cut wood and chop, and you don't have to go make all your own clothes, right? So you guys ready to move on? Okay?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to show you that there's a reason why I'm recommending what I'm recommending. So I use Metafast not because I actually think people should eat portion control meal replacements. I use Metafast to break the vicious cycle of being addicted to foods. And so you don't have to worry about the portion control, whether it has the 24 vitamins, minerals that your body needs to thrive. We want your cells functioning well. People are shocked that when you follow this approach that I take of why your appetite gets controlled, why all of a sudden your energy gets balanced out. So the 5-in-1 plan is designed that you eat 5 Metafast meals a day. You eat 1 whole food meal a day, that with your family or with people that you care about if you can, or if you're by yourself, and it's whole food. Then what happens is once you start losing 2 to 5 pounds of fat per week with that appetite controlled, because your body learns how to go after fat from your body. Now, this is an important thing for you to understand about how this works. The fat that's in your body, that part where you do this and it keeps moving, that got on you because you ate more food than you burnt off. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
You stored more on your body than you burnt off. Now, there are genetic factors of why certain people store more than others. So all those reasons of why you're heavier than another person, they're true. They are mostly genetic of why you store more than other people. But the reason why you have all that body fat is nonetheless because you ate more than your body was able to physically burn off. And there was probably some emotions involved at those times where you ate more, or there was probably just triggers of, ooh, more food around me. And so with that said, regardless of the reasons of how it got on you, what I want to talk to you about is how we're going to get it off. The only way, I don't care what, there's only 2 ways to get fat off your body, period. The first way is you can, well, not the first way, but the way some people do it, they pay a lot of money and they have it sucked off of them, right? Liposuction. Very costly, very dangerous, and it doesn't solve the problem long term. It's a very temporary solution because your body can put that back on quickly, okay? Because your eating habits are the same, your behaviors are the same, okay? That's it. But the only other way to get fat off your body is to metabolize it off. Now, the majority of people who do gastric bypasses and those kind of surgeries fail too. 80% failure rate that those people are going to gain weight back because they don't change their behavior. That's sad too. Very, very risky, very costly, dangerous, and you become malnourished because your body can't digest nutrients properly, and you got to live on these special supplements for the rest of your life. But it's still the same process of how your body's going to get the weight off. You have to turn on what is called the fat siphon. And the fat siphon is a process where your body directs itself to burn fat for fuel. The Medifast meals are exactly scientifically designed to turn that fat siphon on and keep it on so that your body eats about the equivalent of a Big Mac worth of fat off of your body per day. Now, when your body's eating 680 calories of fat off of you per day, which is about what a Big Mac is, then your body gets very full. Why am I feeling full when I stick to this program? It's because your body's eating so many calories off of you. Hydration is going to be important, all right? And then what happens as soon as you achieve your healthy goal weight, we then help you add food back into your life responsibly so that you add back an extra whole food meal and drop off a Medifast meal. You add back another whole food meal, you drop off a Medifast meal. Your stomach is now shrinked up to about the size of your fist after about 5 to 7 days. That's why when you eat something, when you're following a program like this, you feel so full so quickly. You eat barely a little bit and all of a sudden you get full because your stomach's the right size. Most people's stomachs, though, however, are bigger than the size of they're close to what's called a large grapefruit, and some people's stomachs have been stretched out as big as a soccer ball. And when your stomach is that stretched out from overeating, it doesn't get the full signal when it's supposed to get it. And so you keep eating until you get that sense of fullness. Well, we want to rehabilitate that. So I use the Medifast meals to rehabilitate the tone of your stomach, and it takes 4 to 7 days to rehabilitate the tone of your stomach. You want your stomach about the size of a fist. You want it to be tight and toned. I'm not talking about your ab muscles. I'm talking about the physical stomach and the duodenum, which is the part of the digestive system. And we want it to absorb nutrients at a high level. So many people are eating inflammatory-based foods that their stomach doesn't actually absorb nutrients properly, and you never get the full signal because you're not properly nutriated. Makes sense. I'm going to keep eating. My body knows I don't have enough nutrients. So that's the third thing we want to rehabilitate. We want the inflammation down so your body can actually uptake nutrients properly. Now, moving beyond this, you're going to have the health coach to guide you along the way. So I've already committed to supporting each of you individually so that we can customize it. So if you're traveling or you work in an office environment or you're affluent and you're around all kinds of types of meetings and business things and you're around food all the time in those settings or social environments, you have to learn the strategies in your brain so that you can navigate those waters, right? They can be very, very tough in this day and age, but we have to learn how to put a protective bubble around you so that you can stay in control. The last thing is we have to learn how to get beyond willpower and to learn how to create healthy habits that can sustain you long-term in this way of thinking and being. So I'm going to stop for a moment before I go through the next 3 minutes of slides to show you how the basic process of this works. And I want to open it up to questions, comments, concerns about the approach that I'm recommending. Please.
Well, one of the big concerns that I had was how can you, on a Medifast program, they say that I'm supposed to be eating, 2,100 or so calories per day. Mm-hmm. And there's, a lot less than that on the Medifast 5-in-1 plan.
Yep.
Am I putting myself into at risk for being in starvation mode?
Okay, so I'm going to answer those. There's 2 different questions there. So first off, they say is basically the American Dietetic Association on all the study universities, right? Because that's when we say they, who are we talking about? First off, understand that Johns Hopkins University is the top teaching university in the world. And so the American Dietetic Association gets most of their information from Johns Hopkins University, so which is nice to know. Well, Johns Hopkins University is the university that was contracted to create this program so that it would be in compliance with they. So, seems like there's a conflict because I'm supposed to eat 2,100 calories per day, right? And that's true. You are, to get the level of nutrients that you need to survive. However, the problem is that your body's not burning the fat that it needs there at that level, and it's a very slow-going process. So what Johns Hopkins University did was something that was pretty smart. When they helped to create this program, they said, what a person needs is 2,100 calories a day to live, but they don't need it all from external food if they can get it off of their body from fat. So the program is designed so that even though you're only getting so many external calories, because the Medifast meals, I think you're getting somewhere between 800 to 900 calories a day, you're actually getting somewhere around 2,800 calories internally because you're burning 800 to 900 from Medifast and a minimum of 681 from fat. To a guy who's a little larger is burning around 900 to 1,200 calories per day off of fat. That's why a guy is going to see a pound of fat come off every 2 days to 3 days, whereas a girl is going to see a pound of fat come off every 3 to 4 days. That's pretty cool.
That's just unfair.
Yeah, well, and that's just it. You want to have a big, bulky frame like we do, or do you want to be those cute, petite, bodies that you have? It all works, because if we had to date guys, people that looked exactly like us, we wouldn't be attracted to you, and vice versa, right? Anyhow, that's my short take on men are from Mars, women are from Venus. But you get the idea that there are some unfair things on both sides, but ultimately, the thing about it is that you are going to be getting all the calories you need. And you guys, based on what I just told you, where are you getting them from?
Junk food.
Okay, no. You're getting it from junk food that's been stored on. You're getting it from junk that's been stored in the trunk. Does that make sense, what I just said?
Yes.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so your body's going after stored fat. That is why a 300-pound man can be on this program eating the same 5-in-1 plan as a 150-pound woman who's just trying to lose 20 pounds, and they're both getting what they need. They're both getting super high nutrients. You're getting the equivalent nutritional value of around 3,000 calories because they're putting exactly the amount of nutrients you need to be healthy. But where the guy is getting the extra calories from that weighs 300 pounds, or the woman that weighs 300 pounds, versus the person who only weighs 150, is their body's pulling more fat quicker because their body needs more calories, which is great. So we turn on that internal metabolism. Great question, Sherry, and I'm glad we had it answered. But the also good thing for you to know is that over 20,000 now registered dietitians, doctors, and physiologists are recommending this program because of that process that we just explained, and it's been medically proven now. And there's been over 800,000 people who have successfully gone through the program, so much so that Johns Hopkins University, not only do they help create it, but it's their #1 recommendation to any clinic that wants to help people not only learn how to lose fat, but learn how to keep it off. Now that will lead me into this next statement. Keeping the fat off is crucial. So if you use chemicals, drugs, or shots, or external means, and you don't teach the body how to do its own fat-burning process, you're going to have a problem. This entire approach works with your natural fat-burning process so that when you transition off of the weight loss phase, you actually still keep the fat metabolism going strong. You don't have to rehabilitate that. So that's nice. Other questions, comments, or concerns? Very important that we address those. And I love skepticism because I heard about this program 8 years ago. I researched it for probably a year or two, didn't decide to do it until eventually I had several people that I really respected have massive success with it. And then 3 years ago, I started using it because of my big failure rate on helping people eat whole food. They were starting to it. They stick with it for about 2 months, 3 months, and then they would immediately fall off. So this approach works differently. It makes food not the issue. You already know what you're going to eat. There's not a whole lot of choices. It's basic. And then we slowly add back your food responsibility by adding 2 meals that you're responsible for. then 3. And as soon as we see if you have a problem with food or behavior problem, all of a sudden your appetite starts getting out of control, or you start having inflammation, we can identify what those trigger foods are for you, which is pretty awesome, so that we can reestablish the habit. So I'll end on that note that what they found was that this approach had a 500% increased chance over other approaches by going treat food like fuel, not as this best friend, reintroduce food to you as a responsible part of your life, and then help you stay with the habits of health. All right. Any questions, comments before I go on to the next area? All right, so this is my wife, Jill. I talked about her briefly, and she was one of my first testimonials of why I got excited. On the left side of the picture, if you're seeing that, that's my wife, Jill, at 178 pounds. She's 5'6". She has a thyroid issue. She has fibromyalgia, and she has a couple other things, and I can share those because she lets me. But her doctors didn't know what was going on. Her hormones were out of balance. Her thyroid was 0. Her iron levels were in the toilet. She was taking all kinds of supplements, pills, and potions. Could not figure it out. Exercising 6 times a week. Knees on fire. Back in total inflammation. Not sure what was going on. She was not my wife when I met her, of course. And then we met each other. And that's exactly when I found this program. I said, hey, I've done research. I'd like to have you and my mom check out this program. I'm going to go on it with you just because I want to make sure that how I want to go through the mental, emotional coaching of it. We all partnered with my health coach, whose name is Craig. He coached all 3 of us through. My wife, Jill, lost 40 pounds in 2.5 months on this program. And nothing else worked. And what's good is her doctor is now one of my clients as well. So pretty exciting there. But she made a transition, not just in her health. So that's the least important thing I want to tell you about my wife, Jill. The most important thing I want to tell you about her is she has stayed at her now healthy 130 to 135 pound weight for 2.5 years solid. Granted, this is the first time she's gained any weight because she has twins in her belly and she's now up to 147. And the doctors have been forcing her to eat more because she hasn't been gaining enough weight. So pretty awesome change to her metabolism in her body because of the rehabilitative processes to how this works. This right here is my friends Jen and Trey Bonner. Some of you may know them because they live local in Camas, and they've become quite the celebrities. They've been on the Oprah show. And the reason why Jen was on Oprah and in O Magazine was because she lost 187 pounds, okay, over the course of about a year and a half. As you can see, Trey Bonner lost about 105 pounds. They competed with me in the Wild Canyon Games 2 years ago, which is a 2-day adventure race over crazy amounts of terrain. I guarantee you the people in the top picture that you're looking at, Jen weighing, tipping the scales at close to 300 pounds and Trey over 300 pounds, would never have thought they would have done a 2-day adventure race covering 50 miles of terrain. So pretty phenomenal. I have a video on them if you haven't already seen it. It's so amazing. Nike shot a video on them because of it. And they are now fellow health coaches with me, paying it forward because of their celebrity-like status of transformation. Again, the breaking free from the addictions of food as being your master is one of the most amazing feelings because you feel like you're in the control and in the driver's seat. On the left side, this is my friend Lisa, Lisa Castro. Lisa was suffering from an autoimmune disease called Sjogren's disease. How many of you have heard that before? I've never really heard that before, so if I pronounced it wrong. But very, very crazy. It's like a lupus is what it is. So very low energy, didn't really care about life anymore, didn't really want to get out of her bed, just aches and pains just to even move from the bed to the bathroom. Used to do a publication in Lake Oswego for like some other living type of magazine. And as you can see, Lisa changed her body to the point where she's now in ultra health. The girl, she lives in Florida now. She has a house here and in Florida now. But long story short, massive transformation. And she's somebody that I'd actually like to have as a guest speaker on one of our calls in the future, so you can just hear her story personally. It's a true story of hope and inspiration, but she didn't believe this could work. She had tried everything, had done, and when I say this, I'm not talking about the MetaFast. I'm talking about coaching, support, and guidance. MetaFast is just food. It's a tool. We use it just like a cast on your body, but you don't want to live with a cast forever. You want to learn how to take the cast off and be free. This is Mark. Mark basically decided that he wanted to lean out. He'd struggle with those last 10 pounds of weight. And so with Mark, we helped him lean out and shred up. So I just wanted to show you a group of different people. This is my friend Holly. Holly's a nurse, and Holly's lost 87 pounds now in the last 10 months. She's now one of my fellow health coaching team, paying her health forward. As you see, some people, again, once you lose 50 pounds or so, or even 20 or 30 that you were stuck with, a lot of people want to know how you do it. So you can either refer them to me, your health coach, or you can basically support other people. I'm not saying you to change your career, but these are just people who support and help their friends by saying, here's what I did, you can do it too. Why I mention that, this is crucial. Why I mention paying your health forward. And it's important that you don't recommend people to a diet when you pay your health forward, but recommend that you say, well, how I did this transformation. I found other people who could support me and help me. And if you would like to join us, you can. It's not important to me whether they decide to use MetaFast meals or they decide to read all the habits of health. But the fact that they can get into community is very important, that there are people who will support them and who will lead them. I mean, are you guys already liking being part of the community that we're in? Just out of curiosity?
Yes, it's good.
It's awesome. I mean, it's just getting to know you. I've been talking to Sherry kind of offline from you guys. It's just, well, you guys are TMC. You guys are like a whole different animal of like on fireness, right? So that's awesome. And now to be able to like have your health and have that vibe going on too, it's just completing the circle. But so many people don't have what you guys have at TMC. You guys know that? Like they don't have a good working environment, right? They spend more time with their work environment than they do at home with their family. And when they come home, they're so burnt out from their work environment that they just don't have time to play with their kids or the mental emotional energy, right, to be with their spouse. And that can be frustrating. They're trapped. To be able to be in a group like this or to have team and family is huge. So that's why I say recommend and refer your friends to the support. It's the support. It's where I can actually feel like I can breathe. It's like there's oxygen in the room here, right? So huge. So that's one of the reasons why some people pay their health forward to other people's, is because they want to free other people up in their lives too. And I know this isn't that real for all of us on this call yet, but my hope is that after 28 days, 90 days, so long it's going on for you, that you start to see what I'm talking about. So I'm just planting a seed now to pay your hope and your health forward, however you decide to do that. And hopefully you model some of the things by just inviting friends over for a healthy happy hour at your house versus a happy hour that everybody just feels like garbage the next morning. Okay. So what are you looking for? That's really what matters. Everything I've just said is of little relevance. It doesn't really matter if you aren't clear about that. What freedoms are you going to gain if you actually, if this did work? If you actually could see yourself move forward, like my wife Jill, like Lisa, and as you saw Holly there. Who else would benefit from you being healthy? How would this impact your family? How would this impact your relationship? How would this impact your work life? Just overall, if you truly were living on that extra level, that one up notch of health in your life. So with that said, what I'd like to do is take a moment just to find out from each of you, just 30 seconds, just make a statement. The reason I'm going through this transformation is, in just a 30-second quick. We're going to start with Carrie. We can't hear you, Carrie. She froze right when I asked her. There you go. We'll give her 3 more seconds. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yes, I want better health and a better attitude. My health affects my attitude.
All right. I love it.
Can you hear me?
We can. Yes, we heard you. Better health, better attitude. All right. And Joe, why are you doing this and what do you want to get out of it?
Well, for me, being in a supportive scenario is important. What I want to do is just finish what I started last year and, get about 10 more pounds off. But more than that, just more health benefits. My wife and I have a 5K to run in about 12 weeks, so this will be perfect for us.
Mm-hmm.
And what's funny is we actually did a 5K in January of 2012. We didn't even make it the whole way, and we had a van pick us up. So my goal for June is to run the whole thing.
I love it. Woohoo! And so how about for you, Sherry?
My goal is to get myself in better physical condition because I feel like I will be more inclined to follow my passion of really helping people and just starting obviously with my team here at TMC. But I love speaking to people and I feel like I would want to do it more often if I were in better shape. And I also want to be a good example for my son who is about ready to leave, like the house gone.
Wow.
Ridiculously weird. Anyway, so I think that it'd be a good example for him. And so those two things are the most important to me right now.
Love it.
Here's Dean.
Hey, Dean. Yes.
I was saying, for me, I want to feel better. Obviously, my body has aged older than my years have come by, or sooner than my years have come by. And I want to be able to keep up with my son, who is developing into a young monster. He's extremely tough. He's a teenager, so he's definitely pushy. And I'm trying to keep up with my wife also. She she has more energy than most people that I know. I don't know where she finds it from, where she gets it. Another goal is, in fact, with keeping up with myself and my son is those hills that we do love to hunt and go up and down are getting bigger and bigger every year. So I would like to make those hills a little bit smaller.
I like it.
So there you go.
All right. Connected. All right. And Alex, how about for you? Oh, she's froze. Oh, there you go. You're back.
Oh, well, the thing that really resonated with me is, what are you going to look back on your life and wish you did more of? And I think that that's just being there for my son, long term. But another really big thing for me is being comfortable with me and liking myself.
Very good. I love it. Oh my goodness. Just feeling good about you and liking yourself and being at peace there. And then your family and being that example. I love it. Oh, and so for you, Joanne, bring us home.
My main goal is to just, I want to have the energy to spend time with my family. I used to go out and do stuff all the time on the weekends, and I feel like now I'm kind of in a rut of coming home and, by the time I get everything taken care of that I need to do when I get home, I spend my weekends just exhausted and trying to sleep, whereas I used to spend time off doing things that are fun or spending time with my daughter and, doing fun things instead of just, I feel like my life is kind of out of order and it's because I'm tired all the time because I'm not exercising, I'm not being healthy.
Okay. So that putting your life in order, finding that balance and getting on top of it versus behind it. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yes.
That is so awesome. And, this call, as we talked about some specific logistics of how, the fueling plans work and how we can help you move forward there, this is really about us connecting. I've heard each of you share what your purpose, at least at this moment in time, is out of this, but it has to do with you living the life you believe in. And if you will attach that, if you will attach the process to what you want, you can find yourself enjoying the process a lot more. when you eat that next healthy meal, when you drink that next healthy glass of water, when you get that next healthy 30 minutes of walking in or movement, don't think about it as the process. It's not for the sake of drinking more water. It's very little about the water. It has very little to do with whether you're going to eat a salad or whether you're going to eat a MetaFast meal or whether you're going to eat some stir fry with low healthy oils and lean chickens and fishes and beefs and tofu and whatever. It's little about that. It has everything to do with you being able to move pain-free. It has everything to do with you being the example as you speak in front of people and you are confident and you believe in the person that you both hear and see. It has everything to do with you being able to be in front of your life, with you hunting in the mountains and the mountains being like little tiny molehills to you. It has everything to do with that. And so when you drink that water, I say to you guys, cheers to your water. I say cheers to the healthy choices that you make. I say cheers to the times when you get up and you don't feel like it, but you still move because you know why you're doing it. And that's what this is about. And that's why it's like I literally got these chills on my arms as I'm talking to you because we're moving and that's what it is. So I encourage you to stay close. I would love to see each of you post on the TMC Transformers Facebook page. And if you don't know how to get on the group, please call somebody, ask them, help me get on that group so I can make a post. And I'd love for you to share with the people who weren't on this what this connection meant for you to be on this today. Just something you got out of it. If you can add a photo to it or just the words or something so that we can keep this energy going. And we can
Alex?
and comment back on each other's post. If you see somebody post something and it did something for you, just encourage them. Say yes, say an amen. So questions, comments, please.
Alex, I was just going to say one other thing. I think that it's kind of weird how you kind of get to a certain place where, yeah, it's important for me personally to get healthy. But when Joanne was talking about the fact that she gets done at work and she wants to go home and crash on the couch, joy to me would be seeing my team, you know, the people who choose to work at TMC, the people who choose to make TMC their career, that additional level of joy to know that not only are they excelling at work, but when they get off of work, they're so, you know, healthy and they literally have gotten themselves to a place where, you know, for Joanne, she can try to figure out how to keep up with Sabrina. I don't know what you may have to take something because that young woman is, her daughter is amazing and super, super energetic, but to be able to have the energy to go and interact with your children and to go on that 5K like Joe with his wife, you know, and go and do those things. I mean, that's a more well-rounded life and it just feels better. And so to be a part of being able to do that and just work together as a team to get there. I mean, we have literally only 2 members of our team who aren't currently going to be doing this journey with us. And I gotta say that I'm guessing that when they watch what's gonna happen here in the next month or so, they're probably gonna go, where do I sign up? Because I think it's really exciting to be able to move and help each other. You know, it's not, I'm your boss, we're doing this. It's not like that. It's like, hey, this is a separate playing field. This is, you know, it's off of TMC, and it feels good to be a part of helping and having people around you to help you. And so I'm really excited about the journey. So super cool.
Yes. Does anybody else want to share? This is our show. This is our team.
I agree with Sherry.
And she's sending me cool texts.
Amen. I love it. You know, and as I hear about that, Joanne, I just want to say to you, as Sherry talked about that, this is so exciting because the legacy that you getting healthy can leave for your family and for those kids. You know what I mean? If they have an example of a mom who gets off the couch, matter of fact, stand up right now. Get off that couch. I don't even want to see you on that thing. See, look at that.
All stand.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm standing, man. Forget it. Woohoo. Yeah, that's right. I'm taking you guys for a walk around the room here, man. I'm excited about this. There you go. There's my backyard. Look at that. All right. So really, that's it. What are you standing for? What are you moving for? See, every choice you make, it is a choice not to. See, this is the mistake people make. I don't get to eat this, or I don't get that, or I have to do my exercise. You don't. We talked about that yesterday. You don't have to do any of it. You can keep eating whatever you want. You can, whatever. I just hope you get to a point where you want to drink a little more water, even if you don't like the way it tastes. Stick some lemon juice and some stevia in that sucker. Throw a packet of Crystal Light if you have to, you know? I'm just saying, how can you? You know, there's a movie, Rocky, and I think I might have shared this with you before. Forgive me if I've already shared it. But in the movie Rocky, he's talking to his son, and his son is complaining. Dad, this is one of the last movies. He says, I'm always in your shadow, and I'm tired of being Rocky's son, right? And he's talking about, it's just so hard. And then Rocky comes back, and he says, son, then get out from behind my shadow. So I say to you all, get out from behind the excuses. Get over ourselves. Let's get out of our own way, right? Let's get out of our own way. And it's not about how hard you've been hit by life. It really isn't. It's about how hard you can get hit and get back up. And the only reason you're going to get back up and keep moving forward is if you have a purpose that matters for you. So eat that food because you want to. Get that extra little movement in because you want to, and connect yourself with why you do want to get up. I get up at 5 a.m. in the morning, not because I want to, because that's the only time I can have my own peace in my own space. And after a course of 20 days or so of doing that, and I mean, I've been doing this for a while now, it actually became a part of who I am. It's a habit now. My wife goes, it's 4:40. What are you doing up? I'm like, I'm just up. I used to hate it. I was the guy who slept until 10 or 11 because I could, right? So what's the point? The point is find your why you're going to make the adjustments in life, even though it's hard. And that's the other lie. The other lie is that we got to make it easy on ourselves. You know what? Some things are worth doing the hard thing for. What do you think? What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's true.
agree.
You can have
Alex,
hard
we can't hear you. We want to hear you.
I don't know if you guys want to hear me. I'm over here hooping and hollering and saying amen. And
We do. Oh, we want it. This is good. Yeah, I'm going to unmute everybody. We want to hear everybody. So unmute all. Go ahead.
I'm all about it. I'm super excited. Woo!
That's right.
I agree with Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome.
And that's it. And that's it. And so now we can keep this literally dream alive by living it in our life. Where we have to make the shift now is from the mind into our feet, regardless of feelings and emotions. The hard thing is getting started. It is hard to start walking, but once you do, it's worth it. Now, don't take all this motivation wrong. What I'm not saying is go join a boot camp and go start jumping up and down and burning up your body to the point where you only do it for 3 days and all of a sudden you're done. I'm not saying make such a shift that all of a sudden you can't stand it because you don't have the mental, emotional muscle to do that. Do, though, get close to other people. Do be willing to expose where you're vulnerable and where you need some support. And do be willing to say, Coach, how can I overcome this? Versus, I can't because. Can everybody real quick, like, just flip the script on that real quick and say, no more to I can't because?
No more to I can't because.
I can't because.
And how can I?
How can I?
How can I? Yeah, because together we can achieve
How
more.
can I?
How can I? That's right. How can I?
What about why I should?
Ah, there we go. Boom, upgrade. And why should I? Yeah, I like it. Look at that.
You know, one thing that keeps going through my mind is, you know, we talk about willpower, but it's more want power
Mm-hmm. Ooh,
than willpower.
yeah,
True, that's good.
it is.
Preach it.
There's no more should, because if it's something you should do, you won't. But why would you?
Mhm.
Why would you want to? You don't do the things you need to do. People don't do what they need to do. They do what they want to do. Some people don't need to be buying another screen TV in their house when their budget is broke in their house, right? Some people
Yes, sir.
don't need to be bringing in junk food when they're 300 pounds overweight into the house. But why do we? Even though you don't need to, it's because you want to for some reason.
Mhm.
Just like when you get up in the morning and you start moving a little differently, you start breathing on purpose, and you start saying, why am I getting up? Why do I want to wake up today? See? Yeah, I love it.
Joe's a really great, I think we talked about this before at the meeting before the one you just had on Friday, but I just would encourage the entire team, and sorry for volunteering you, Joe, but Joe's gone through a pretty massive transformation in the last year and has been really rock solid about food choices and stuff. So if you're struggling with that, you may just want to shoot Joe a quick email, and I'll be emailing you most likely several times a day, Joe. Anyway, I mean, we do have lots of success with this thought process on our team, and if we look around, we can be a really big support for each other.
That's right. I love it. It's not about willpower, it's about want power,
Mhm.
right?
Absolutely.
And we're going to build up that want power. And that right there just came because of what we just created in this team. That little saying, it's about want power, came from what Joe said, what you said, what so-and-so said. And we're building that. So let's stay close. Let's keep this conversation going. This conversation is not about food. It's not about exercise. It's about what we believe in. It's about being alive. It's about waking up and smelling the life that we've been given. Oh my goodness, this is awesome. All right. Well, at this point, those of you who need to connect with me, who need support with your program, I'd be very happy to help you. As a health coach, I get all kinds of perks and incentives. I get Medifast gives me so much food for like free that I can pass on to clients that want it. I can help make it work for your budget. If you do need more whole food and you have the time to prep and plan, I can help you carve that out for yourself there. The point is, don't think about why I can't. Ask your coach or ask your support, how could I make this happen? The recommendations that I've made to you today are not based on anything other than helping you get the right kind of start, get the rehabilitative processes you need in your body and in the way you think, and so that you can move through this as a long-term approach to your life. So by all means, please email me if you want any more support or any more help in that healthy lifestyle. What I'm not going to do is hunt you down and chase you down and try and force coaching upon you, okay? All right? This will be about you saying, I would like support, I would like help and guidance. So the more you contact me, the more I can pass the ball back to you. It's your program. It's your journey. I'm just here, and the rest of us are here to support you, but we can't want it more than you, right? I can't want this more than you. I've tried that before. I've tried to be all the rah-rah with people beyond that. But if it's my energy, it'll become this thing where you're afraid to call. Also, super important, I've said it before, but some people can't get it through that emotional part of our brain. Call me when it's not going so good. Text me when it's not going so good too. I don't need to just hear from you when things are perfect. I love seeing your water when you guys are drinking it. I also like knowing, hey, I messed up. I had a problem. Because it's not about me. It's about you reflecting and getting a chance to express the feelings. And if you can't identify the feeling or the trigger, you'll never solve it. You'll stay in that vicious loop. Does this sound familiar? Anybody relating to what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The biggest way and the fastest way to move based on everything that we've proven through history and through what we now know through research and neuroscience is people who are willing to be vulnerable with. Now, be careful. You got to pick who you're vulnerable with. Don't go on Facebook and talk about all your mistakes and worries and cares and problems, okay? Because many people don't know how to process this. But when you have a support team, it's okay to say, Coach, I didn't do so hot this week. So Coach can say, how do you want to do? Let's learn from that. Let's move forward. So, all right. I look forward to hearing from each of you. Does anybody else have anything else they'd like to share with each other or whatnot before we wrap up?
Thank you for your time, Alex. Sure appreciate
Thank
you doing
you.
this.
Thank you, Alex.
I love it.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you to everybody. I'm glad. Oh, my goodness. This was such a great team come together moment. Bye.
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 Bye.